Today's episode is taken from a live call inside of my signature program, F the Scale. If you want to know more about F the Scale and how once you get your little mitts on it, you're going to finally start losing weight, just head on over to kyliepax.com/F the Scale or hit the link in the show notes.
Okay. So, honeys, this week, if you are not seeing results, the results that you want, you might be seeing something happening, but it might not be what you want. Please, let's go through some of the reasons why. I know that we often label things self-sabotage, and sometimes they're not. Like sometimes we think I'm sabotaging my results, but maybe you're not. Maybe there are other factors involved, and I want to go through some of those today before I address your questions, because there are some major things like body image and self-esteem, plays a huge part into what kind of results you are manifesting. I'm just going to say into your world. Body image and self-esteem is 90% of the game. Your self-belief is 99.9% of the game. If you don't really think that you can do it, we're going to dive a little bit more into some self-sabotage today as well. If you don't really believe that you achieve what you want to achieve here. And I just want to remind everybody as you're dropping on live, please make sure your mutes are muted. Please make sure your mics are muted because we don't want to hear you as you're doing your special fancy things there, whatever it is that you're doing. So my loves, when it does come to self-sabotage and the way that we often find ourselves holding ourselves back from the results that we want, there's three major ways that normally plays out. Either we allow ourselves to hit our weight loss goals. So we hit the weight loss goal and it's fantastic and everything is great for a moment or two. And then we end up fucking it up and gaining all the weight back and plus more. We usually gain it back plus more. Or this way we self-sabotage. And I just want to double check that everyone's got their mics muted. Mic's muted here. Mic's muted, yes, because I feel like I'm getting feedback. I'm not quite sure what's going on. So I'll just double check with everyone. Thank you, my loves. Okay, so the first way that self-sabotage materializes in our life is you might let yourself lose the weight, but then you sort of hit that finish line and you're like, woohoo, I've arrived. Woo! The jazz hands come out and you just start stuffing your face and you gain it all back. Second way that we end up, self-sabotage ends up playing out in our life is we do the 2 steps forward, 3 steps back situation, like that tango that we've all done 1,000 times in our life. And it's just embarrassing and so frustrating that you lose a kilo, gain back 3, lose 2 kilos, gain back 5. Like that's the game that we play. And then the third way that self-sabotage, we often self-sabotage our results. And I find this to be the most painful one of all. It's just so sad because it's sad. It's really sad, is that you lose the weight. You do. You get to the weight that you want to be. But you are so fucking terrified and scared of food that you won't allow yourself to even enjoy what you have achieved. You worked hard. Like a lot went into this. You said no at the times you wanted to say yes. You held back when you wanted to eat more. Like there was a lot that you did to get to the place that you are, but you didn't work on your mindset. So now you're just a skinny version of you in the same body with the same mindset. Well, a skinnier body, but the same mindset. And you're terrified of food, scared to eat anything, can't keep foods in the house. This is what it was like for me. I would just cry from the anxiety of being terrified that I was going to gain the weight back. I remember trying to get on this pair of really skinny jeans that I had bought when I'd lost all this weight. And I'm like, look at me, I'm fabulous. And then over the weeks, because I hadn't worked on my mindset at all, and over the weeks and months, weight started coming back on. And I remember having a fucking meltdown in my walk-in closet, like being in there, trying to get the jeans on and just sobbing because they were harder and harder to get on, and literally saying to myself, these were my words, I can't go through this again. I can't go through this again. I was terrified of the weight gain. I felt like it was going to destroy me. And it was all because I had launched myself into a skinnier body, but I was still carrying around the same shit in my mindset. So body and self-esteem issues, massive, and mindset, massive play a massive role in the results that you either are or are not going to get here inside of F the Scale. Now, a second A second component to this same sort of category is sometimes we just put ourselves under immense amounts of pressure to lose weight by certain times or for a certain event. I mean, this is such old story. Like I shouldn't even have to explain it. And for those of you that are still doing it, just stop. That's what I'm going to say. Just stop. If you have a particular event, we've all done it. I mean, I did it for my wedding. We all do it. I'm getting married. I'm doing this. And it's fine to have a goal, but what's not fine is to let that be your whole world of your weight loss journey. And then you start stressing if you don't start calculating and you don't think you're going to meet your weight loss goal by the time of said event and all these things. And that's not cool. That's not okay, because you've got a life to be living and things to be enjoying in the meantime, and all you're focusing on is hitting a certain number by a certain time. Another time that I did that was by my 30th birthday. I was just so adamant that I was going to, I don't remember what the number was on the scale. I feel like I should remember. I don't remember what the number was on the scale. I would have to pull out because I've still got the little food journals that I used to carry around with me. Now you'll do it on an app. But back in my day, I went to the $2 shop, bought a cute little journal, and I would write down every tiny thing that I ate. 1 Smartie, 4 calories. 2 cashew nuts, 6 calories. Like I would write it all down. And my goal at that time was not to exceed 500 calories. You see how fucked up I was, right? You see the journey, because obviously I don't even need to say it, but I will. That is not healthy. It's not good. But that was my goal at the time, because I wasn't working on my mindset at all. I was obsessed with being skinny, and I wanted to be skinny by my 30th birthday. So that's what I was doing. And I did hit the goal. I hit the goal, whatever it was that I wanted to achieve. My 30th birthday came. We had the party. I remember. And the day of the party, I thought, close enough. And I remember sneaking into like this spare bedroom where I had been stashing away lollies and sweets and treats and all these things. And I started eating them from that day. So I'm like, it's okay. I thought my body isn't going to get fatter by tonight's party. Like, it's okay. And over the following weeks, I gained back a shit ton of weight because once more, I hadn't worked on my mindset. This is why F the scale is so important. Because every module in here is really a mindset issue. I give you the framework of the first 4 eating codes are your framework. That's what we're going to sit on. If we're going to build a house, you need a foundation. That's your foundation. That's your foundation. This is the way I really see the work that we do here together. The first 4 eating codes: 1, if you're not hungry, you don't eat. 2, you make your plan for the day, okay? Because that's a matter of integrity. Or at least if you're not a planner, that's okay, but you at least think mentally, this is what I know I will feel good about eating today. If I go outside of these parameters, it's not going to work for me. So that's the second eating code. You really have a strong grip on your commitment to how you're going to treat yourself that day with food. Eating code number 2. The third eating code is so important. So important. The third eating code is to stop eating at 80% full. If you want to lose weight, that is your magic carpet ride to get there. You can try it. You can do the things. You can count the calories. You can learn your macros. You can do all that shit. But if you are not stopping eating prior to being full, you won't lose weight. You won't. And or you'll do it. But it will be, again, how I say, through that fucked up way of like, obsessed with the numbers and not learning how to truly listen to what feels right for your body, because you are trying to force your body to do things by a math calculation instead of actually understanding what it feels like to stop eating before you start full and just knowing what is a healthy level of hunger for you. And I'll eat now and I'll stop eating now. Like, that's what it's about. That's how you lose weight. If I could say nothing else and you're wanting to lose some weight, you stop eating at 80% full and you'll get there. Even if you're eating M&Ms, stop eating at 80% full. Okay, I've got Miss Molly wandering around at my feet down here. That's the third eating code. The fourth one is, of course, we're just going to banish the emotional eating. We're going to look at that. We're going to work on that. all the mindset questions and everything that you need is in the self-concept journal, because the emotional eating is the thing. That's what I do. That's my jam. I'm the emotional eating coach. That's the thing that trips us up every single time. So by doing that, you're going to tune in and stop using food as a way to tune out of your stresses, your surroundings, the life that you're living, just anything and everything. Like, it doesn't, what can I say? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We've tried it. I tried it for most of my life. I would eat when I was stressed or upset or anything was stressing me out in my life. And so I would turn to food as a way to not have to think about or address the real issue at hand. But as I've said a million times all the time, that when you do that, all you're doing is creating a second problem. You start the situation with one problem. Say your boss is a dick or something. You start the situation with one problem and that's upsetting you. But by the time you eat 4 pizzas and 2 tubs of ice creams, now you got 2 problems. Your boss is still a dick and you got 10 extra kilos on your ass. It's a no-win situation. So we're not doing that. That's eating code number 4. Okay. Those 4 pillars are the 4 legs of the chair. If you try and take one of those away, you can sit on the chair, but you'll fall. Hear me when I say this. They are the 4 legs of the chair. If you try and eliminate one, you will fall. You won't succeed. What by that I mean, well, I don't like eating code number 4, Kylie, and I'll stop eating at 80% full, but I'm going to eat whenever I want and whenever I feel like it. I'm not going to wait for hunger. Well, it won't work. It won't work. You need each one of those 4 eating codes as your foundation, because on top of that little mother, we're putting act like the person you want to become, the 5th and final eating code, because when all else fails, your chair needs a seat. Do you want to sit on the little hard sticks? No, it's going to poke your ass. It's going to hurt. Your chair needs a seat, and that's the seat that you sit upon. That's what we stand on here inside of F the Scale. That's what we stand on, is to act like the person you want to become. And so when I talk about putting yourself under pressure to meet a certain deadline for weight loss because you're going to a wedding or your cousin's bar mitzvah or something's going, somebody's having a baby and you're going to be seen, like, this is what I very often think about these events. You're going to an event. The event is usually for somebody else, not for fucking you. People aren't looking at, they're really not looking at you. They don't care. But you think you want to be so skinny and fabulous by this event. And you should feel good. I'm not saying I'm not saying that. But I'm saying don't kill yourself to try and get skinny by a certain date for an event that you're not even the main party feature. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So we're going to do it the right way this time. Now, for anybody that's got questions, please go ahead, throw your questions in the chat, and I'll make sure that I come back and answer them later, because we've already got a ton of questions that have come through, which is really, really good. So we have all of this. You are only going to end up frustrated, just drowning in negative self-talk, if the progress is slower than you want it to be, which is very often the case, because I feel like that's the universe teaching us a damn lesson. It's like, listen, woman, get your shit together. Because you think about it. I was at the gym this morning. This morning was a little bit disjointed, and I had to be at the salon by a certain time and then do these things and do those things. And my window of time to go to the gym was getting smaller and smaller. And I thought, it made no sense for me to go to the gym now at all, because I had like literally 10 minutes, 15 minutes was all I would be able to spend there. Let me tell you what I did. You'll laugh. I got in the car, I went to the damn gym, and I was there for 10 minutes. Now, before you'll freak out, I'm going to go back. I'm going back later today so I can do my proper workout that I plan to do. But the reason I made my ass go there, albeit for just 10 pathetic minutes, was because I wanted my brain to see there was no reason and no excuse that was good enough for me to not show up there at the time that I said and do the thing that I said I was going to do. I did it. And do you know how proud I am of myself? Because every fiber of my body was like, don't waste time going there. You should just be at home and you could get this done before you go to the salon. I'm like, no, we're going to the fucking gym. Gym gear on, the makeup was on, we're going to the gym. Don't care. We're going. And I was there for exactly 10 minutes. And then I shut down what I was doing, and I had to leave. And I will be going back this afternoon to do a proper workout. So I want to do my weights and do the things, but my brain gets the picture now. It gets it. It's like when I say I'm going to do it, we're doing it. We don't skip it. We don't make excuses. We don't fuck around and just stay home and eat instead. We don't do that. We are women of integrity. Biggest thing that I want you to get here today. So body image and self-esteem issues could be one of the reasons, and mindset. I didn't write that down in my little notations, but that's one of the biggest things. One of the biggest reasons. If you're not seeing results yet, that is probably why. Now, if it's none of those things, okay, because they're the things that it would mainly be something along those lines. If it's none of those things, which are things that you can control, then I would ask you the question, is it more of a physical issue? Are there some hormonal issues? Is there a medical issue? Is there something else that needs to be addressed here? Because if you're not seeing results, there's only one of three reasons why. Either you're not doing the eating codes at all. It's like, well, I joined the course and I watch a video or two. Isn't that good enough? No, it's not fucking good enough. No, you have to actually do the work as well. So either you are not doing the eating codes at all. If you're not seeing results, you're not doing the eating codes. Or second reason why you might not be seeing results is, and this is the main one that I see you all do, you're doing some of the eating codes, you're doing the ones you like, but you're not doing the ones you don't like. No, I don't want to wait until I'm totally hungry before I eat. I just want to eat when I want to eat. I don't want to stop eating at 80% full. Come on. Surely I can get away with a little bit. You're doing the ones that you want to do and not the ones that you don't want to do. Let us. Okay. That's the second reason. The third reason, if you're not seeing results yet, could be for a medical or hormonal issue. Because if it's none of the first two, that really only leaves you to check out, is there a physical issue that needs to be addressed? Is it hormones? Is there a menopausal issue, premenopause, perimenopause, what the fuck ever, right? Or is it your regular monthly cycles and they're interfering with what appears on the scale, and you think nothing's happening, but it is happening undercover. It's just that the monthly cycles are not showing the results the way you would like to see them, because all those things are going to influence your metabolism, your hunger levels, your energy levels, all of it. So you've got to get savvy. I always highly recommend, if you're really not seeing results after a solid 3 to 4 months of following the eating codes and nothing is happening, and you haven't fucked around one time, like you've really done it. You've been following the eating plan, and when you look at your eating plan, you've been following the eating codes, and when you look at your tracker in the back of your daily journal, your daily planner, when you look at the tracker, it's all green. It's like you're tick, tick, tick every day. I follow my plan. Everything is good. Then it could either be that you're eating too much, you're still not stopping, or you're not stopping at 80% full. You think you are, but you're not. Or it could be a medical issue. So I would really ask you to get that checked out as well, because I want to make sure that we cover all bases. I wasn't losing weight for a really long time, and I ended up getting diagnosed with hypothyroidism. But I didn't know at the time. I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't lose weight and why I was exhausted. And then eventually why my face was swelling up like a balloon. I didn't know. I went to the doctor. She didn't pick it up. Come on, man. Let's get it together. So, okay. So we have this. If you're taking notes today, let me just recap. If you're not seeing results, one of the first reasons could be body image, self-esteem, mindset, really. Everything else stems from mindset. Mindset is what you need to work on. Second thing, hormonal issues. Is there something physically that we need to be looking at? The third thing, if you're really not seeing results yet, do you have certain time or energy constraints that need to be addressed? Do you have like big commitments, work commitments, family commitments, career commitments that make it more challenging for you? Because I will say this, there are issues that make it more challenging, but not impossible. To take it from the woman who spent 10 minutes in the gym this morning just because that's all she could fit in. 10 minutes. 10 minutes of doing something is better than 10 minutes of doing nothing. I still think it's great. Like I said, I have the flexibility to be able to go back later today. I might take Molly for a walk. Maybe I won't go back later. Maybe I'll take Molly for a walk because I do want to get my activity in. But I have that flexibility. But I make it work. I made it work. I didn't sit back and go, well, very busy. I'm very busy. Like a lot of us wear this busyness like a badge of honor, and the busier you are, the more important you are. That's bullshit right there. We are all of an equal level of importance, and we're all equally fucking busy. People say nobody's as busy as me. I'm like, well, you don't know. You don't know that. Maybe they are. Maybe they're way busier than you. And even if they are, who gives a fuck? Like, just organize your busyness and still make sure you get your ass into the eating codes, into some form of regular movement that you feel good about without the excuses. Okay. So if you've got time and energy constraints, I fully understand. Time is always going to be an issue as long as you keep telling yourself that it's an issue. But I mean, I just, at the end of the day, I've got to be very honest. We can all get up 20 minutes earlier and get some movement in. We can. Can't tell me that you can't. You can. It's not going to feel good. I understand that. It's going to feel highly unpleasant, but it's doable. It's doable if we drop the excuses. The other final thing, if you're not seeing results yet, is check yourself. Check yourself and ask, are you focusing really too heavily on having some kind of diet mindset versus understanding this is the rest of your life game? This is not a short-term gig. I didn't drag you in here just to, give you the eating codes for 6 weeks and then like it's over and you just go back to your regular life. That will never happen again. Do you want to go back to your regular life? Your regular life sucked. Your regular life was you lugging your big ass around, being uncomfortable, hating to go to events because you hated getting dressed up to go anywhere. You just want to stay in your trackies. Your regular life was shit. So let's be clear. This is the start of the next chapter. And this chapter goes, we can't even see the end of this chapter. It just is ongoing. This is the rest of your life. This is not a short-term gig. So understand there's a very big difference between perfection and consistency. A lot of you think that in order to succeed here, you need to get it perfect. It's got to follow each one of those 5 eating codes. It's got to get it perfect, got to get it right. Don't mess it up. Don't fuck around. That's fine. That's fine. That would be the ultimate goal. But even me, who's been doing this for umpteen years, doesn't get it perfect. But I am very fucking consistent. Last night, I'm still yet to fill in my reset worksheet today. But last night, let me show you my plan from yesterday. I'm dropping on myself. Did I follow my plan yesterday? Yeah, breakfast, tick, lunch, tick, dinner, tick, like snacks, bum, bum, big ass cross here. And I filled in like down here, I was filling this in this morning. I went back to the gym yesterday for the first time in quite some time. And I was extra hungry yesterday. Makes sense. I'd expended a lot more energy. I started lifting a bit of weights. I need some bone density in my later years. So that's what I'm doing. And I was really hungry and I ate like way more food for dinner than I would normally have eaten, not in a bad way. That's what it took to get me to 80% full. I was so hungry. And then I just stopped because I ran out. I had a Tupperware container of soup left. I thought, oh yeah, I should have some of that left for tonight. No, ate it all. That's okay. I needed it and it was good and it was yummy and it was still only 80%. But I was still hungry, like later in the evening, I got really hungry and I'm like, oh, really would love something else to eat. And so I had a few corn chips and then I had 2 little extra squares of chocolate. Now, was I past 80%? No. Was it a massive break to my plan? Not really, because I was hungry. So, when you're hungry, I want you to eat. I don't want you to not eat if you're hungry. And at the same time, I probably could have toddled off to bed. Would have been pretty uncomfortable, but I could have done it. But at the end of the day, I hadn't planned that and I probably could have made a better choice than chocolate. and some corn chips. Could have made a better choice. There's areas to level up. So what I'm saying is, did I get it perfect yesterday? No. But am I consistent as fuck? Absolutely. You see me right back on it today. Made a new plan. I'm going to go get some fresh ingredients. I'm going to make a really great salad and some more soup and things for tonight so that I have, because it's all gone now. That last batch is gone. So I'm going to do that, make sure I've got everything covered. Gym is happening today. Like the movement is happening today. Consistency, not perfection. Wasn't perfect this morning. 10 minutes at the gym. Far from perfect, but I'm going to be consistent as fuck. And I will get my ass into some form of movement again. I want to go back to the gym because Phil says he can come with me, and he's a trainer. So he's such a great trainer. So I'm like, great. He'll push me. So it's really good. So that's what I want to do. Now, these are the 4. So again, it's for those who are taking notes. If you're not seeing results yet, is it a mindset issue, body image, self-esteem? Address those first. Is it a hormonal issue? Is there a medical reason why you're not seeing the weight loss that you want? Is it hormones, menopause, perimenopause, anything, just your monthly cycle? Like, what is going on? Do you need to check your thyroid? Like, what is actually happening there? All of those things are going to influence results. Don't think that they won't. Thirdly, do you have some serious time or energy constraints that need to be taken into consideration? On the days that you have way less energy, what looks like 100%, you giving 100% on those days will be really different to you giving 100% on a day when you've got all the feels and all the vibes and, you're feeling great. You feel like a little, what do you call it? Jumping bean, like it's amazing. No, me giving 100% on a day when I'm exhausted is really different to me giving 100% on a day that I'm energized, but it's still 100%. It's still me giving 100%. So check your time and energy constraints. Make sure that you're working within those parameters effectively. And the 4th reason, if you're not seeing results, is you're usually stuck in a dieting mindset versus this is the rest of my life mindset. It's going to take as long as it takes. I would rather it took longer but lasted forever than have it happen really fast and be temporary. Wouldn't you?
Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to KyliePax.com and join me inside of F the Scale so that you can stop emotional eating and start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources inside my past podcasts that will help you lose the weight without the BS. I'll see you next week.